Actor Anthony Ramos co-stars in the brand new Marvel series Ironheart as the arch-villain known as the Hood. And he'll resort to any means necessary to achieve his goals. Watch.
Consider this a signing bonus. And if you agree to do the next 3 jobs with us, we'll have way more than this.
I assume these jobs aren't exactly legal.
And not exactly.
Look, I don't want to hurt anyone.
It's not like that.
Okay, so what do you do?
Theft, extortion, breaking and entering.
Why?
Why do you make iron suits? I'm sure you have a good reason why you do what you do. And I have reasons of my own.
Please welcome the talented Anthony Ramos.
So welcome.
I feel, wow, welcome. I feel welcomed.
Good,
I feel like I'm in the hot seat right now. It's crazy.
You are not, because you're with family.
Right, literally.
So we both did Finding Your Roots with Henry Louis Gates, and we found out that we are cousins.
Yes.
That's why you're both so good looking.
We are cousins, and we are descendants of royalty.
Right.
As well.
Also tracks.
So that was wonderful.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
He was a king, like he was one of the 9 kings
Who's
of
he?
Bellinor. It was his last name.
Our descendant, you know?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
ancestor.
Our great
I'm sorry, our
A long time
ancestor.
ago.
16 generations removed. He was one of
16.
the 9 kings of the Guanches in Tenerife, in the Canary
I'm
Islands.
gonna give her
Yes.
a pop quiz on all of
Yeah, the
this.
Guanches were like
Well,
the
I'm
native
fascinated.
people.
We'll never be able to
Yes.
listen to her again for now.
You could just call me Queen Sunny.
Right.
But we also both grew up in the projects here in New York.
We did, yeah.
You now have this amazing, amazing career. I know coming from the Bronx projects, never imagined I'd be sitting here.
Right.
Could you have ever imagined this life for yourself?
No, definitely not. I mean, you know, my mom, she said I used to do this thing when I was a kid, though. She said, you used to complain sometimes. Like, you'd be, like, looking out the window, and you'd be like, I don't like it here. I feel like there's more. And she'd be like, what do you mean? More of what? You know?
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, she said I used to do that as a kid.
Wow.
You just didn't want to be there anymore.
I just didn't.
Well, let's talk about somewhere where you just were, okay? So you were just part of the 10th anniversary special performance with the original cast that includes you at the Tonys for this. It was the most marvelous thing. I was actually in the room where it happened, because I was there at the Tonys and I watched you. But I was surprised when I saw you come out, because you and I had been texting a few days before, and you told me you weren't going to be part of it. And then all of a sudden you show up there, and then Lynn is getting pushback because he didn't give you a solo. So why don't you explain to us what the hell happened?
Oh yeah, no. I've been having to explain this for like 2 weeks now. Yeah, it wasn't. You know, I had a solo in the
Hamilton,
in the thing.
Yes,
like,
you did in the original show.
Yeah, but even in the piece that we did on the Tonys, originally I had a solo. Lynn had played it for me, but I didn't know if I was gonna make it. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to make it.
Because you're busy.
Yeah, you know, thank God. You know, and I was like, yo, I don't think I could be there.
Yeah.
And they were like, you sure? I was like, I'm sure. And then finally on Saturday morning, the day before the performance, I hit up Lynn and I text him and I'm like, yo, is it too late to join you guys? I just wrote, bro. And then he goes, and then he sends me a GIF, like one of them GIFs of me like dabbing in my Hamilton costume. And then, I'm like, yo, is it too late to join you guys? Yo, he's like, yo, are you serious? He's like, do you have a black suit? I'm like, nah, but I could get one.
Wow.
And he was like, all right, hold, I'm gonna hit everybody up. So, I had to kind of fit in. They had already rehearsed, they did the whole thing, so I had to just fit in where I could, but it was just nice to be there.
Did you go to Brooks Brothers? I mean, where'd you get that suit?
That
was a
nice.
nice suit.
All right, so you want to know?
Yes.
So that suit was a mix of things. Like, it was
Really?
like, I think the jacket was Brooks Brothers. It was a bunch of different brands.
Well, it looked good.
But yo, they put that together. That was my costume for the performance. So everyone else had changed except for me. If you notice, I wore the same thing all night. Even for the performance, I told him, I said, yo, do me a favor. I said, I'm not going to get a suit. I'm gonna take this free suit right here that I don't have to give back. Because what they don't tell y'all is, yo, we be having to give the clothes back sometimes. That's the tea.
Oh, believe me, we don't
give
know
this
that.
back. We do too.
We give all this back.
I said, yo, give me all that. I'm taking it all that. I'm gonna wear that all night. And thank God it came out good, you know? It was just-
We will take you even without a solo. You were fabulous. But let's talk about Ironheart. We had your co-star Dominic Thorne on last week, who plays genius inventor Riri. Now, you're the villain in this, the Hood. And I understand you grew up loving Marvel. So what was it like when you wind up on a Zoom with the brilliant Black Panther director Ryan Coogler, one of the just absolutely most talented, Marvel studio president Kevin Feige, and Marvel producers, like, and they were pitching you on a character. What was that like?
That was wild.
Imagine.
The head of Marvel pitching me on a character. I was like, yo, I'm sitting on the Zoom and I'm just seeing all their faces in the little boxes. I'm just like, yo. That's Ryan Coogler, Black Panther, Chanaka Hodge. Like, I'm looking at Zoe, all these producers from Marvel, and then Kevin. And then they're like, okay, so this is what we envision for the character, and this is the world, and he shoots magic bullets, and he goes invisible, and he levitates, and this is what he looks like in the comics. And I'm like, damn, y'all saw me for that?
I see that little boy looking out the window saying there's got to be something more. What a dream.
I love, though, having a Latino superhero.
I loved it,
particularly right
and
now.
I was able to incorporate like my culture too. Like
You have
I
a
was.
Puerto Rican flag tattoo.
Well, yeah, because the show is set in Chicago.
It's set in Chicago, so there's a very large Puerto Rican population in Chicago, in Humboldt Park, Logan Square. And I was like, yo, it only makes sense because, you know, in the comic books, he's not Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah.
And his name is Parker Robbins. You know, that ain't the most
That's
Puerto
not
Rican
Puerto
name.
Rican?
You know what I'm saying? But you know, I'm like, hey, if we're gonna set in Chicago, you know, I wanted to you know, I'm like, oh, he has tattoos, but okay, the tattoos cover his scars, but what? Tattoos of what? You know, and I said maybe his mom was a part of the Young Lords, which is like the Black Panthers for Puerto Rican people.
right.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I started to create this backstory with the team, and I'm like, yo, like he grew up in that, and his mom was like a freedom fighter. You know what I'm saying? That's what she was a part of that movement. She instilled that in him. And you see, that's what he does, right, in the show, right? He's almost like Robin Hood, really.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why his crimes are justified in his mind.
Yeah.
And you know, and I was like, yo, let's put the Taíno symbol, which is the native people of Puerto Rico. Like, let's get the flag on here, and it's covering his scars, but it's like that's a part of him.
Yeah.
But now the scars are also part of him now.
beautiful.
You know, so I just thought it was like a moment to, create like an authentic moment.
So this November, you are going to be running the New York City Marathon for the first time. So I want to know, number one, why would you do that? And number two, would you be wearing a Speedo?
The answer to your first question, I don't know. The answer to the second question is probably.
Oh, yeah? It could be a very hot day.
Why not?
Yeah.
Wait, you're living in Miami now. Are you wearing a Speedo around the beaches there?
All day, baby.
Why not? Call me
Nah, I don't. I might. Who knows? Whatever.
And he's writing a musical, too, I read.
Yes.
I'm writing a musical, yeah. I'm writing a musical.
He's a
working on my
dreamer. The
album.
boy is a dreamer.
Yes.
And recording our new album.
Yeah.
I'm recording my new
Yes.
album, yeah.
I hate
Descendant
that.
of
You know, I
royalty
really
as well.
hate that
And the
you're
descendant
so
of royalty.
lazy.
Yeah, you know, you squeezing the vacations in the middle of that, but it's fun, you know, yeah. And I'm like, I wasn't gonna run the marathon, but then I signed a deal with Brooks, and then I was like, nah, I really gotta sign a deal.
Well, we're so happy to have you here today.
I'm so happy to be here, yeah.
Our thanks to Anthony Ramos. You can watch the first 2 episodes of Ironheart now on Disney Plus, with new episodes streaming next